James Charles just announced his next product for Painted, and he's been receiving a lot of negative feedback. It's a mess, so let's get into it. For the past few months, we've been talking about James's debut product for his brand Painted. He launched his brand with a set of face paints, and I think we can all agree it didn't really go over too well. Despite showing people all the different ways that they could use his paints, the response from people who actually supported him in this launch was not good.
Did I do something wrong? But yeah, it's just coming right off. I didn't even do anything crazy. I've only been indoors. It's like melting off. I think this is like my first negative review. I hate being the bad guy, but I spent money on the whole kit, dude. Why?
It was reported that the lab James was working with didn't have the best reputation when it came to quality control, and that was clear by the state of these paints. They were showing up with loose caps, not sealed properly, exploited all over the packaging, and some people even found hard, dried up clumps inside of the product. Many people also reported issues with the paints cracking, which was actually an issue that James claimed was fixed prior to launch, but clearly it wasn't.
It's a really hard color to make. It has gone a little bit patchy, as you can see.
Now, if you just launched your own brand and you were having issues with quality control with your lab, you would think you would address the issue and put any future launches on hold until you fixed whatever was causing the problems. Well, not James. He's already launching his next product, even though his paints had some major flaws. James is launching a nude eyeshadow palette, and he teased the product with a video taking a trip down memory lane.
I am so excited to show you guys our first ever painted palette, the Basic Canvas. I've been working on this for years, and I can't wait to show you what's inside. Whoa, 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 a new palette? You said I was the only palette anyone would ever need. Kind of shot myself in the foot with that one, but times have changed a bit. Tell me about it. Well, of course, like, I don't even say the hi sisters anymore. Yeah, the hi sisters anymore. Anyways, this palette has 24 beautiful neutral shades, perfect for any makeup. Boring! I had 39. Not everyone wants to do colorful glam all the time. Or maybe you've just lost your touch. Is there a white shade? No, not in this one. Oh, is there a brown? It's a neutral palette, of course there's brown. Is there a highlighter? There's shimmer shades if that's what you're asking. That's not what he's asking.
Whoa, whoa, whoa!
Oh, shut up! Shut up! I just wanted to make a palette that people would want to bring with them everywhere. Bring me a little water, Sylvie. Continue. Thank you. A palette part of your everyday makeup routine. Like, you wake up, you take your vitamins, you go to work. Not this again. I was saying, I worked really hard on this palette, you guys. I even painted the swatches on the front myself. Real original. Hey! I really think that people are gonna want this in their collection. Yeah, if we were in 2016, maybe. I agree. I'm just a sister shook. I mean, I don't know. Enough! All this criticism from you guys? You need your hair cut. You need your eyebrows cut. You two can't sing. You were a mistake, and you were discontinued. Hey! Look, I know that it's not rainbow colors, and I know that a neutral palette isn't groundbreaking or revolutionary, but after the paints launch, I thought it was important that our second product was a staple. So here it is, the Basic Canvas. 24 beautiful neutral shades, mattes and shimmers, perfect for any artist of any skill level. Because isn't the makeup you guys do most just basic? Hey, yeah, yeah.
I think James knew what the criticism would be over this launch, and this was his way of getting ahead of it and trying to make fun of himself before anyone else could. He knew people would say that he's already done a palette, he knew people would say that it's a basic concept, and he wanted to try and get ahead of that. A lot of comments under this video were calling him a marketing genius and said it was such a unique idea. But it's actually been done before, specifically by his bestie, Tana. People think James ripped off Tana's ad for her perfume, Tana by Tana, where she showed herself having a business meeting with all her different eras.
It's actually a combination of my favorite notes. Are you smoking? Actually, it's CBD it heightens my awareness.
I hate you people.
What do you mean by you people?
No. What I think she was trying to say was just like, you people, like you amazing, deserving, like super awesome people.
I probably hate you the most.
No, like guys, like I understand this is like a really turbulent time for
Guys,
country.
can we get back to the perfume, please? Thank you.
Yes, please.
Thank you.
As you can see, not exactly a new idea. A few days later, James posted a video showing off the inside of the palette and explained a bit more about the process behind creating it. Now, something interesting that he did this time around that he didn't do the first time was made a disclaimer about the pressed pigments and how they're not safe for around the eyes.
We had this conversation years ago, so I know that you guys know the drill, but I have to say it. This palette does contain both eyeshadows and pressed pigments. If you're in the EU, UK, or Australia, no warning is necessary and you can use it however you want. But if you're in America, the American FDA does not recommend any pressed pigments for use around the eye area because they can cause potential staining or irritation. All of the shades and ingredients will be listed on the back of the box and as well on our website at painted.co.
And if you've been following all the Painted drama from the beginning, then you'll know that we've talked about this a lot with his face paints. The red shade had red dyes in them that weren't safe for the eye area, and James had no disclosure anywhere. The website and the packaging had no warnings, and that's against FDA regulations. You need to be letting people know when you're using these dyes so they can personally make an informed decision whether or not they feel comfortable using them on their eyes. James not putting a disclaimer anywhere could get him in a lot of trouble, and I honestly can't believe his lab overlooked something so critical. As for the actual palette, I think we can all agree that it's nothing new. It's a bunch of neutrals and that's fine. But something I've noticed is a lot of people are in James' comments being like, I don't support James for what he's done, but I love this palette, so I might just buy it. You can find so many dupes for this palette from brands that aren't giving money to James for so much cheaper. If you're outside of the States, you're looking at around $100 minimum to get this palette, and that just doesn't make any sense. So far, the launch of this palette has been met with a lot of negative feedback. Trendmood posted it to their page, and people were bringing up a lot of things that I'm sure James doesn't want brought up, writing, absolutely not. Besides the person behind the brand, who we shouldn't be giving a platform to, it's just another basic neutral palette. Every single brand that makes eyeshadows has something like this. Not even if it was free. At Trendmood, why are you promoting this garbage? And I'm honestly surprised Trendmood even posted James. When James first launched Painted, we talked about how Trendmood never posted anything about it, and I thought maybe James was like blocked by Trendmood, and rightfully so. Usually if a brand is really controversial, they won't post them, but not posting his first launch and then posting the second one was definitely surprising. Another thing that stood out to me for this launch is how many influencers have been publicly supporting James. For his first launch, not many influencers got involved or reviewed his paints, besides Manny MUA. There were some influencers that wore it and used it here and there. Jacqueline used his sponge in one video, but this time around, Jacqueline Hill actually commented on his video, asking if she could use the pinks as blush.
Okay, but can you use those pink shades as a blush? The whole point of Painted is that everything is multi-use, so do you really think that I'd put these stunning, beautiful pinks in a palette and you can't use them as a blush? Girl, I got you. In fact, this shade Warrior might become your new favorite Dolly Pink blush. I named it Warrior because it's the same color as Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and if you guys did not know, my mom was a survivor, so this shade is for her. Let's take a look at how this looks on the cheek. Oh, it's literally so pretty. Look at that. Before you apply, I would definitely do a little tap, tap, tap because these are extremely pigmented. But if we just start blending this right on, it literally creates the most beautiful flush of pink.
And Nikki Tutorials left a comment showing her support for his palette. So I don't know what's going on here, but it's not a good look. Now let's talk about criticism over the actual palette itself. I've been seeing a lot of people commenting on the white packaging and how dirty and gross it's gonna look after only a few uses. It doesn't look like it's an easy material to wipe clean, so that's definitely an interesting choice. Other people are also commenting on the lack of pigment in the eyeshadows. In the video where James responded to Jacqueline's question about using the pink as a blush, many people said the shadow hardly showed up. We had people writing, It's not even there. What? Pigment where? And James responded to this comment and said, "Girl, do you think I wanted my entire cheek bright pink?" I think it's safe to say most of the responses I've seen to his launch have been negative. There's been a lot of people saying that they won't be supporting him. Many people said the palette should have been launched years ago. And we also had people saying that he should have fixed the issues with his original launch before moving on to this one. The kind of issues that James was having the first time around don't seem like simple issues that could be fixed right away. So I'm just surprised to see him wanting to jump into the next thing before perfecting his first launch. Anyways, guys, let me know what you think about everything down below, and I'll see you next time.